yeah, I wouldn't mind talking about.
About the D.Va skin?
Yeah.
All right. So
And
then,
I mean, we could also segue into freaking other things about Overwatch.
sure.
Their anniversary is up.
Oh yeah.
It's hold L1.
Oh.
Hold L1 and then push the face button, and then it'll do that.
How does that translate from?
Huh?
How do you get there?
Oh, just do it down.
Oh, okay. I was like using the D-pad. That's why I was like, why is it not going down? But yeah. How's holding the L button come from the L stick?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they just fucking put the wrong graphic.
That's possible. Which way am I
I'm sure a
going?
lot of people complained about that when the game came out.
Probably.
Probably not.
Probably not. Also.
Maybe everyone would figure it out.
That or they didn't even use the function.
Yeah, that's a very strong possibility as well, actually. All right, where are we going?
So we can either go.
We've done all
to the
this stuff.
story.
Well, there are a lot of places.
Pushing story.
Yeah. Fuck. Where are we going? Go back out and hold R1. Visit Logris.
What the fuck's Logris?
Oh no, that's don't go on the ship. That's the castle town.
Oh, okay.
So we
you
are
can-
here.
You can hold. What was it?
I need.
Push L2. I believe we can warp there.
Oh yeah.
Nope. Okay, so we just gotta walk because there's probably gonna be something that happens along the way.
Damn it! I hate that.
Real
So
quick.
I hate
go
that.
right.
Real quick.
What's up?
Can I set my L1s?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Go for it. All right. So I guess for today's conversation, we're actually going to talk about the topic on the D.Va skin, actually, and for that matter,
I'm not fully educated on the topic. I only saw the controversy in passing.
Oh, okay.
So, that's what I understand the situation to be.
What was it? Well, let's give our viewers, since they weren't part of the previewing.
So, in Overwatch, Blizzard released a police D.Va skin, which
I got.
her, which puts her in a Korean police uniform. And some people took issue with that because it how would I say it? Doesn't
To them,
stand it's
Well, yeah, I think the best way to say it was to the people viewing the skin, they felt that it was very insensitive to the current political climate that is going on in America specifically. That's why it's also very important that we mention that she specifically is dressed up in a Korean police officer outfit. And I feel that's a very important distinction to make. That's for later. Basically, fans of the game felt that the skin was being insensitive to the political climate because of what is going on and how in America we are having a lot of, how would you say, I guess, police disputes.
there's a lot of like people have issue with the police.
Exactly. To put it, to be as diplomatic as possible, people are having issues with the police. Trying not to be biased in one way or another, there have been many situations where police have been put into, where they have taken a life, and it is unclear as to whether they should have or not. Whether they should have used lethal force or not. And that's the main argument. And it also particularly has been targeting minorities, and more specifically people of the African American race. So that is why they felt that because Overwatch is a multicultural game, there are so many different characters from so many different walks of life. Having D.Va dress up as a police officer and shooting some of those people of minority races, or in America at least, can seem a little insensitive.
What?
What? What's wrong? What's wrong, James?
What is this? What is this?
What's wrong?
What do you mean, what's wrong?
I don't see the
Why
problem.
am I dressed like a red cat?
It's a normie. God, get it right.
I don't care what it is. What am I doing? This was not the costume. I don't care if it was a month ago. This is not what I dressed up as.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure you were. I mean,
No, I
from
wasn't.
From my memory, like, you know, it's been a month, so like it's hard to say. But I'm pretty sure you were dressed like that the entire time.
No, I wasn't. Don't even play. What is this? Oh my god.
It makes this conversation even better. Your style very unique.
What is this?
I'm not sure you actually got the full effect of how that looks, James. So I think we should do this.
No.
Stop your sword.
This is horrible. Who does this stuff? God, we need new writers. What the hell is wrong with this?
It's a joke costume. We all have one.
Yep.
In
That's
fact,
cool. Why are you not dressed up as a joke?
In fact, several of us have multiple of them. If you want to choose which color you want to be.
Oh man. Is it because they couldn't fit in all the colors for all the characters?
It's probably just padding.
Yeah, I get that. But anyways, back to the conversation before we were, you know, rudely interrupted by.
Yeah. So some people feel like it was insensitive of Blizzard to do that, and other people feel that reaction is
Unwarranted.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, and to add to it, do you guys know about the Pharaoh version of it also?
Yeah, about the I feel like that one makes more sense, cause like they've been a pretty or which one are you talking about?
About the anniversary skin.
How she looks. She has a different culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
First she was Native American. Now she's Bedouin.
yeah.
Oh.
Because like she has the Native American skin.
Yes.
With, like the feathers and
The kind of like the totem-esque.
Yeah. So like that
Battlesuit.
was. I mean, you could argue that it's a skin and they can do whatever they want with the skin, but they've been pretty consistent about being like
within their own
within
cultural.
culture. Yeah.
Which is interesting, like, because coming from the perspective that I knew from the, like, for me it was pretty obvious that she was meant and always meant to be I would assume like Egyptian
Yeah,
descent.
She's Egyptian.
Yeah,
She
so
is Egyptian. Her
so-
mom's Egyptian.
exactly. So like, you know, seeing her dressed up as a Native American was kind of interesting. But I was like, oh well, I mean, looks nice and it seems to match. So it didn't bother me, but obviously also I'm not Native American, so I don't know how that would affect.
Like, I feel like it's a skin. It's supposed to like play on the design, whether or not it's true to that character. Like, I'm Chinese. I wouldn't care if Mei wore,
like a kimono.
yeah, kimono. Like,
What, you're saying all Asians look alike?
sometimes. Dude, people look alike.
I mean, no, I know.
I understand, but
region. Descended from the same people.
yeah.
Yeah, we're all one people.
Some people.
Not all. Like Thai is different.
It's important to some people that the cultural
Maybe.
representation be maintained, though. So
Okay. Well, what about yourself, James? What do you think?
yeah, you had an opinion on it. How did you feel about the D.Va skin?
I mean, I can understand where people are coming from, where they have a raw feeling towards the police. I mean, being a person that's grown up with family that tell you, oh, the police are bad people, they will hurt you, you should avoid the police at all opportunities. I can kind of understand where, you know, making one of your favorite characters into something that you're supposed to be afraid of is pretty bad. But it's not changing it so that, you know, Lucio and Symmetra are supposed to be characters that depict those bad situations just seems really weird. I mean, for one, Symmetra's Indian.
Yeah. Well, I brought up Symmetra just because she was like
Brown.
not Tracer.
But I mean, you could always just, you know, say Sombra. You could say
Yeah, Sombra,
Frickin',
Reaper.
But Reaper's wearing a mask, so I mean,
We all know what he looks like under the mask. He
doesn't-
has an origin skin.
it doesn't matter. The point is that
It works on so many levels.
this is a fantasy world, and although, you know, Overwatch does have a tendency to kind of gloss over some stuff, I don't think that they maliciously did so to just kind of ignore what's going on in the world. That they somehow, you know, want to mitigate one particular race for another, or to, you know, make caricatures of a race so that they can make fun of what's happening right now. That doesn't make sense. That's not what's happening, and people are just kind of taking it out of context to further their own feelings towards it. And while, again, I actually feel that some of the situations that are happening in the real world are unwarranted. I'm not a big advocate for police violence. I actually feel that police reform is necessary in order to make everyone feel that they can be safe and that trust can be restored in law enforcement. But I also don't feel that all police officers are bad and inherently are doing so to put down a particular race. That there's a possibility, always a possibility that there are some people that do. And it could also be a possibility that the higher ups in a particular organization, like a city police department, focus more on minorities. It's a possibility. Are you dead?
Yeah.
1 second.
For saving your life.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
But I am gonna say that that's not what Overwatch is about. That's not how they've depicted their world. Their world was never meant for that.
It's my mom.
Okay.
You get would you say that the intention of the intentions of their design choices? Oh
God. Direfall.
This one's pretty easy.
Yeah, when your moves actually work. You're broken velvet. There's difference.
What? What are you talking about?
You're broken.
all right,
No,
I can
not.
heal now. I should probably do that shit.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful because I'm at 1. Literally at 1.
You can use items too. Nice.
I only heal for 22 damage.
Yeah.
Really?
It's 'cause-
Oh, Jesus.
Fuck.
Don't be afraid to use items if you need to.
I can't.
It's on cooldown because I just used one, but
Fuck.
Use one now.
He's
She's
looking for
after
me.
me. Use it now. Peach shell.
Okay, cool. Alright, we in there. Let's go. And that missed.
Completely. I like how happy the music is, despite the fact that we're all in a kind of a dire situation.
yeah, and that's partly why I don't really use healing in this game because it's not good.
Can you increase its strength? Like what?
Over time, because it's the game is designed to be more about like yourself. You're not supposed to really be doing like a holy trinity thing where you have like a tank, DPSers, and healers.
Or mages, yeah.
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 So
I guess. Oh, I would.
like if you really need a heal, remember you can switch out twice, and it'll heal you. On entry, it heals you. So if you switch to someone else and switch back,
That's pretty weird.
yeah, but it uses some blast gauge, so
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's, yeah.
that's part of it.
Well,
Same thing.
being
if
a whip,
you're-
being a whip, we should probably get back on topic.
Yes.
I again, I'd like to say that there is some validity to feeling like depicting police.
That's the thing is like we're not trying to say that feeling is wrong. We're just saying that it's not appropriate in the situation because it's sort of like a reach to say that any instance of there being a police is bringing up that topic.
Well, then what about Soldier 76? Soldier 76 is...
Well, no, he's a soldier. He's not a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, in a sense...
He's also a vigilante.
In a sense,
yeah, but then that's his character. Like, D.Va isn't that kind of character.
Okay.
She's a
D.Va
gamer.
is...
Yeah, that would actually be their argument, is that...
D.Va is a protector who gets in a mech to solve her country's problems. Does that mean she does no crime fighting? I mean,
No, she
she's
does.
also part of Overwatch.
Well, that's kind of the thing, is that that's the biggest reason why we're more or less against the idea of being against the D.Va skin, if you will.
Yeah, it's a sort of like a lot of people have ideas, and I guess you could just call them headcanons about how all the characters interact now. Like at this point, what is it? I think Farah and Mercy are a lesbian couple.
Mercy Genji.
Mercy Genji is a big thing. Fucking every permutation you can think of, someone is like, oh yeah, that's how
I'm totally down for Soldier Reaper.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. People are down with that. Reinhardt is just a grandpa. Torbjorn's a grandpa.
People are trying to do Reinhardt Anna. I'm not for that.
Yeah, I can see that.
If we're gonna go canon, I would go Soldier Anna, but it doesn't matter.
In any case,
I can't take this game seriously with him like this.
No, very serious.
In any case, we're getting information from the underground.
Okay.
Yeah, like
I don't think it...
people have an idea of how it is, and then when Blizzard introduces new elements to the game that conflict with their ideas, it hurts.
Like the time when they had May be really skinny in her cheap out.
Which was actually a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't really a big deal.
Well, not
Was it
not for skinny people like us. But
is it really not?
For
I'm
body
not skinny. I'm looking at these videos. I look fat, really fat.
Yeah, but
yes.
for more body positive people, they're hoping. Yeah, don't worry, I'm fat too. People identified with May, and then when they just reversed that, it was like a betrayal of how they felt about things.
I guess so. I mean, if it made her skinnier, that would make sense. But she looked almost anorexic. So
That's why it goes back to being that it was a bug.
yeah.
Just like, was it like the perimeter on this area was lower than it should have been, so it, like, wasn't mapping correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people have strong feelings about all those things.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be funny if May had a reduced hitbox.
Jeez, I saw the hitbox for everyone's heads. Man, shit's huge. Like it's like at least half a head outside of their head on both ends.
It's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, no,
it's not a traditional shooter.
no, it's not. It's
So
not.
headshots are a lot easier to do.
Yeah, it's because it's supposed to be like a shooter MOBA hybrid. Because you have fucking ultimates.
Yeah,
And shooting isn't supposed to be like.
and you have Reinhardt.
Yeah, you have shit like Tracer running around. So like headshotting Tracer would be a nightmare if.
Yep, you actually had to hit a proper.
Because she's tiny and she warps.
Yep.
So.
There's that, and also like all the healers' hitboxes are like especially bigger, because they know that they're always gonna be in the back line, so they wanted to make sure that it wasn't impossible to kill them.
Yeah.
But okay. Well,
Oh, she's having second thoughts.
What's wrong?
your fists are clenched. What's wrong?
Walk around the capital for a bit. I can show you some of the sights. But you can't trust me. I understand.
No, it's not bad. I promise. I'd love to go sightseeing with you, Eleanor.
Luffy said. Well, we'll do it another time, okay?
Yes.
Why?
It's just, you know, Velvet would get mad at us.
Get mad about what?
Ah, you're done. And who is this?
Oh, we're transporting.
Entrusted to us by the head of the Bloodlings.
He
We're
fell off
stowing them
the
away
back of
in
a truck.
Titania, where the bad guys can't get at them.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's sort of
Okay.
Who is this person?
he's kind of suspicious.
Yeah.
So-
Looks horrible.
Don't worry, we're laying low. No one will suspect us.
No one will suspect this motley crew
Yeah.
at all. We're completely conspicuous. Inconspicuous.
I can't believe you take a job without bothering to ask who you're escorting or why.
The less you know, the less trouble you invite.
Nope.
Wow. She hit. She hit every single note. It's like, you're a traitor. Why the hell are you talking?
Okay, so I mean, I guess there's really not much else to say about that topic.
I mean, unless someone has another viewpoint, we can't really discuss both sides because I think we're all in agreement on.
Yeah, pretty
on this.
much. Pretty much. Well,
You can kind of see from their point of view, though, where
But I feel like
can you empathize with the people that are
I empathize.
making-
I empathize with their situation and the real world like problems they have with it, but I think they're doing themselves a disservice to be seeing that problem in every media. Like it's sort of. I feel like it's a situation of if you look for trouble, you'll find trouble. So
self-fulfilling prophecies.
yeah, that's basically how I feel about it. I'm not saying that the police use of the excess force used by police and all the situations aren't valid. But in this particular situation, I don't think it's an appropriate reaction.
Do you have a response to that? Because I actually want to say something.
go ahead.
So that actually brings up two things that I want to say. The first one is that, I mean, yeah, we can be sensitive to this, to their plights. We can be sensitive to their situation, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to change everything to suit their needs.
Well, who are they?
The people who generally take.
People who are proponents of said change.
Who basically want to make it so that D.Va doesn't have her skin anymore.
Okay, but we're not saying people who are against police violence.
No,
that's-
this has nothing to do with that. That's the kind of
That's the thing is we're not talking about we're not even really discussing that as a valid or invalid topic.
Yeah,
Like we think that's perfectly valid. Yeah.
But
Police use too much. Certain police officers have used too much force, and they should be reprimanded for it. And we should look into the system to see whether or not we can prevent those sort of things from happening in the future, because it's not good to have police officers killing people.
yeah, and even though I agree wholeheartedly with that, I feel that even if you disagreed and you were on the opposite end of the spectrum, that's not the topic at hand.
Yeah. So like the whole point is that is it appropriate to extend those feelings into the game because a character has a skin that represents a police authority? But that's we say no.
okay.
And
And like, okay,
do you think it?
Do I think that it's valid to bring that up?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's good, and I don't think it actually holds a cogent argument. It's gonna come up in a lot of other games, and I think that that's something for game developers to think about. That current events are gonna affect the current events are going to affect the reception of the content that they make. And although I wouldn't encourage them to stop doing what they do and to think about what they're doing, but to at least make statements like they have been doing. I know that they have been making statements about the D.Va skin and also another skin that was being done. We're probably going to go into that for the one with Farah, where that isn't their intention, and kind of getting ahead of the story before it even, develops.
Come on, really?
So I think it's good for them to do that and to make their intentions known, to be more descriptive about why they're doing something, or to give it more meaning.
Well, when it comes to a skin, do they need to have like clear intention as to why they want to? What if it really just boiled down to someone thought a police officer's skin would look good?
Or you could say, well, we thought that a police officer's skin would look good.
So that's why I think the better way of doing it wouldn't be to be super specific, but to just be more transparent about it. Be aware of the situations that are at hand, not necessarily having to change what you're doing, but just to, if people are making a fuss about it, be like, hey, that wasn't our intent, guys. Cool your tits.
Yeah, and I mean, they've been doing that.
Because
they have been pretty communicative about it.
Yeah.
And as much as, like, it'd be nice for them to just not have to worry about those kinds of things, because, well, especially when it has nothing to do with them, unfortunately, whether they like it or not, people will make those kinds of connections, and you just have to be aware of it.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be aware of what's going on in general.
Yeah.
But that actually, so the second thing that I wanted to bring up that actually kind of is somewhat in line with this, and maybe somewhat not, but bear with me for the time being. Do you guys remember back when Anita Sarkeesian was a huge thing going on, bringing up about sexism in video games and everything? Did you guys ever see that video where she made that talk at a college or whatever, and she was saying how apparently, and this is a kind of an ideology, I'm not sure it's ideology, but it's a thought process that people do have within some sects of feminism, in that they believe that, like, everything is sexist, everything is misogynist, everything is racist, and you have to point it out. Did you guys see that video?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Or have you seen that clip that they've replayed over and over and over?
No, I haven't. I actually didn't pay too much attention to it.
Oh, okay.
I looked up who she was, and I watched like some of her videos, and I thought they were biased, but not necessarily as offensive as some people made it out to be.
Okay.
But then I might have not hit the more on topic videos. So
This is bullcrap. You're gouging us just because you can. Well, if you want to pay less.
But yeah, but do you see the connection that I'm trying to make here? In that, how they actually teach people to constantly be looking out for, in this case, sexism.
Just like a hypervigilance against, in this case, injustices.
Yeah.
Social injustices.
Well, I feel that there is some validity to that as well, because there are things that society covers, or, for example, society becomes insensitive to.
But okay, continue.
There are also people who openly ignore the problems that our society does have because it benefits their psyche. We could probably bring up the relationships between Caucasian people and African Americans, where African Americans are said to have some, entitlements by people who are more conservative in our country. But then you see that they don't actually have entitlements because they're just trying to be on even footing. There are statistics proving that African Americans are statistically more likely to go to jail, or statistically more likely to be turned down for employment, to be paid less. And that the laws that we have on books is so that we don't do that. That it's illegal to do that, because in our natural state of society, we would probably do that.
We should get
And
far
that
away from here
it-
quickly.
I feel that we kind of take for granted that those laws are there, and that we do that. That there is a reason why those laws are there. I feel because we take for granted that our society is better now than it was before, it doesn't mean that we can ignore that our society still has those fractured
We're safely on the rolling waves.
aspects of it,
Don't you
that
think
we
it's time you showed us
that we
the
look
face,
at life
mystery monk?
differently than we did 20, 30, 40 years
My
ago.
apologies.
But there's still a lot of things there that are the same.
I knew it. Prince Percival.
Oh fuck, we just abducted the prince, guys.
Crowned prince and heir to the throne of the Midgand Kingdom.
That's weird.
So he's
Yeah.
next in line.
Long story short, he wanted it out because he didn't agree with how the kingdom was being run.
There you go.
Yes, Your Highness. I could tell from your
Yeah.
as only the
So-
royal family may wear it.
I would argue that hypervigilance
Must I explain my
is
I mean-
not good.
There's not racism in everything.
But that's the thing, is like if you teach people to look for it everywhere, people will start seeing it everywhere.
It doesn't matter.
Like only in the most benign cases is can you get through. Like I don't know if it's doing anyone any favors to put a lens on the world and say everything
For a fellow born with silver spoons
is inherently
through the
racist or
nose
sexist
now,
or
Prince Aku's running
whatever
away
it is.
back. Prince
Well, no,
Percival
it's not a very good
is
lens, but to look at a perspective from some to
just
actually take that perspective is important. To be able to look at life from a woman's lens or from an African American's
Well,
lens.
seeing it from a different perspective is important, but
He wore it for us to notice. He wanted us to know just what sort of position he held and how useful he
But
could
if you
be.
look at, I would say that if you look at it from someone else's perspective, you could possibly find where even some innocent things
When the time comes, he'll make a good
can
hostage
be
if nothing
inherently
else.
racist, or
Sure.
that they can be offensive. We don't. Let's not say that they're racist. We could possibly just say that
the prince.
they're insensitive to another person
Wonder why.
or to a culture, simply because it, by nature, ignores certain aspects of said culture. And are we okay with that? Are there things that we can possibly let go? Sometimes, yes. They're, like, for example, nursery rhymes. There are tons of nursery rhymes that are steeped in age-old racism
I don't
Yep.
see a single
that we kind of
emphasis
ignore
on why.
because they're benign. Most of the time, it's not even because
Let's scope out the
we know
inside.
that they originate from racism, but that we rebranded them into something that is more benign and also something that is useful for children. And at the end of the day, we're kind of okay with that. And
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I mean, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo is a game I used to play when I was little. And I learned that it was used to take slaves out.
yeah.
But I'm not going to get upset about it because it's not how it's used now. It's not what it is now. And I also feel that part of that lens is also to attribute some of the blame to how the world is to descendants now. That's not what we should be doing, but we should also take into account that the people that are here now are under the influence of people from the past.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's not to discredit what has happened and
She's dead.
how things are, but
The headless knight is back.
I don't think it's furthering any causes to bring about every instance of it and say like everything needs to be on equal footing.
Well, equality is not really great. Equity is great.
Yeah. I actually don't agree with like peer equality because people are going to be different than each other. To make the playing field absolutely level would be to erase all differences that we have.
Which is impossible.
Yeah, I don't think it's a feasible goal to attain.
Jesus.
we should like strive for equal opportunity and to make sure no one is discriminated against for not irrelevant, but yeah, irrelevant.
Irrelevant or erroneous aspects of themselves.
Yeah, it should be based more on like them as a person rather than whatever cards they were dealt with in the beginning of life.
Right.
But yeah, that like going back, I think training people to be hyper vigilant in those things make them into a very like pessimistic person, and leads to a society that creates problems in order for them to be outraged about, or like inflate problems they see in order for there to be something. It's not even so much that it's done maliciously. It's just like if you've always looked for the racism or sexism or injustice in any situation, that will be more prominent when you were looking for it.
Right. So even if it's a small amount of racism or whatnot, you can inflate it into something that can be a problem. But I also feel that can you argue that small amounts of racism, is there an amount of racism that is acceptable? Is there an amount of, like, for example, if we go to Christianity, any sin is considered bad.
Yeah.
Even the smallest amount of sin is horrible.
I think that's not even what I'm trying to discuss. I'm saying, like, whether or not a small amount of injustice is appropriate is different. What I'm saying is I think people should be realistic about what it is. Is it like a gargoyles thing? I'm not saying that a little bit is okay. What I'm saying is people should discuss it for what it is something small, and that we can hit it on the nose while it's small, but we don't need to jump directly into making it the biggest deal on the table, especially if there's something more pressing or it has different context to it.
Stole it from me. I only have one. Why do you need multiple? You're Velvet. You just smack people and they die.
Oh man, you're not doing good. Did you have any opinions on this game?
Yes. I was gonna say a few things. But now that you're putting me on the spot, I've kind of forgotten what I was gonna say. Shit. Okay. So the first thing, oh damn it.
Yeah,
fuck.
that guy disappeared. Oh no, not these guys again.
It's okay. I remember this time.
Also, it's a
Yes!
it's a dangerous encounter, so watch your butts. The first thing is this entire conversation actually kind of reminded me of is something that I kind of always keep in the back of my head, which is basically the horrors that Japan has incurred on many different countries during World War II, and the idea and whether or not I should be responsible for any of it or not. I would like to.
My God, this is fucking. This is like mashing on this shit. Sorry, keep going.
That's okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, just quite simply, being somewhat, proud of being Japanese and enjoying my culture and everything. It's quite distressing to constantly be hearing about how Japan has to always apologize.
Yeah, that's a good problem. Is like you want to be proud of your heritage, but then in order to do so, you have to like fully, constantly be, oh shit, I'm sorry that we did this shit to you. It's just like, but that's not even who you are. Like, you weren't there. You weren't drafted. You weren't.
I took no part in anything that happened during that time, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, it's still, no matter how much I would like to think that I have nothing to do with it, like, it is still part of my culture. It's still a stain that will always be there.
Yeah, but it's sort of like you understand that that was a problem, and that was something that if you had been there, you wouldn't have agreed with at the time, even. Hopefully. And then you move past it, because it's not a personal transgression. It's just I recognize that my people have done these things in the past.
Exactly, and that's going to what you're saying, in that the problem, I think, is not so much being hyper vigilant in and of itself is not necessarily what's wrong. What's wrong is the people who are hyper vigilant and then immediately accuse people of being the very essence of the evil that they see, rather than it just being
something that happened.
Yeah,
like I feel like it's too black and white. In order to make it something that you can
Black and white, eh?
Oh man.
Oh.
I gotta tell you, people have been thinking in black and white way before race.
Actually, yeah. I remember in Persona they said that people actually dreamed in black and white before color television. And when color television came about, they started dreaming in color.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like... That's a small pet peeve of mine. Whenever people attribute the whole black and white... whenever I say black and white and people attribute it to race, I'm like, I'm not talking about race. Like,
it's a damn idiom.
Purely based on like color theory, black and white are the farthest things apart on the color spectrum that we can perceive. Like, if you want to get further into like fucking ultraviolet light and stuff like that, then,
so maybe we should change our terminology. We should say ultraviolet light and gamma rays.
Yeah,
no, that's not how it works.
We're talking about visible light because
that's all we can see.
Yeah. In any case, that's an offshoot. What the fuck I was talking about?
the people who are hyper vigilant and immediately start accusing people.
Yeah, I just think society has become too much about extremes and has deviated from how reality should be looked at, which is a scale of grays. Like, rather than pushing everything to the side, is like, this is either this person is either a saint or this person is like
the devil,
the next Hitler. Not everything goes to the extreme so quickly,
right?
And I think we should see what things are for what they are. If it's an injustice, then it's an injustice. It could be a small injustice, it could be a big injustice, could not be one. But to push it to an extreme, I think is
detrimental.
Yeah, detrimental to the argument.
Yeah, and I agree. I truly feel that people just... I mean, I make light of it, but seriously, people just need to cool their fucking tits, man. God damn.
What about... No, that's the wrong way. Do you have any opinions on it?
Well, I mean, I do. Might not.
Well, no.
No, please. That's the point.
Well, let's go back to a pride at Tenouraku. So I say that, or just going from what you said that you would like to be proud of being Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also feel that in order to be proud of being Japanese, you are constantly reminded that Japanese did bad things.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't that part of being prideful? I mean, I feel that in order to have the conviction to say that you're proud of being Japanese, you have to know what that means.
Yeah,
And
but I think what he's saying is sometimes it feels like the only thing people recognize him for is the atrocities.
Right. And are they wrong for doing that?
I think so. Because they're only looking at the bad part.
Right, they are only looking at the bad part, but that only the bad part has affected them.
Yeah, but is it... It's understandable, but is it the right thing to do?
No, it's not. But we're talking about whether that's part of being prideful of being Japanese, is that people are going to feel that way because you are Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
And that if you are proud of your heritage, being aware of your heritage is also part of it.
But just because I understand that we did something bad, it's not the only thing that I want to think about.
Right. And where I think that there needs to be a balance between that, where you should learn your history, good and bad,
Yep.
and that you should accept your history,
Yeah.
good and bad,
Yeah.
and work towards being better people and making it clear to everyone in the past that you are going to move forward to be better people.
Okay.
And
But should we be focusing on that so much? Like, I think it would be more productive to say, yes, I'm sorry for these things, and then we move on to the next thing, rather than constantly talking about the atrocities.
has Japan ever apologized for the atrocities that they've ever done?
No, and that's the problem. But he's not Japan.
It's true.
He's Japanese.
Right.
He's part Japanese.
Right.
In any case, he wants to celebrate parts of the culture, and yeah, I've talked to him about it. He's said, yeah, that's shitty that happened.
Yeah.
But then I shouldn't like continually be like, oh shit, Japan hasn't made an official statement about this yet. I can't let this go yet.
Right. And I mean, it would be sad if your relationship between you and Tenouraku were affected by you being Chinese and him being Japanese. But I don't think that that's a really big thing between you two.
No, and I think, yeah, it is a thing. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the primary thing that I associate him with. I'm not here to.
Right.
I'm not here to
Berate him.
weed out the injustices that he placed upon my people. Because, like, yeah, it's a part of reality, and we've accepted that. But then I think it's more productive to focus on the next thing.
Which is where we go from here.
I don't know, but I'm certainly not going to come back and talk to him about Japanese injustices unless something else comes up about it. I think it's not appropriate to boil him down to just that part of him.
I feel individually, no. I don't feel that lumping all of the situations that happened hundreds of years ago or even 50 years ago to a particular person, especially if that keeps you from really ever knowing the person, is good. I just don't feel that you can ask someone to let that go.
We're not saying let it go. We're saying, why does it have to be the focus of your life?
Are they not allowed to feel that way?
No, but I think that they're lesser for it.
That's true.
I think to focus so much on what's gone wrong with your life leaves less room for what has gone right in your life or what you can do to make it better. People can feel however they want. I just don't think it's a productive way of approaching your life in the long term. Like, if something really bad, like, I don't know. If something really bad happened this weekend, I'm not saying that you should be like, oh shit, okay, let's move on to the next thing. We've thought about it. Yeah, you can spend a month, half a year, whatever, like, mourning about it, thinking about it, discussing it, and all those things. But then once it's done,
what do you do about it?
It shouldn't hold the same weight forever. And World War II happened before we were born, and that's not something that we should be constantly hounding people about. Like, it should be proportional to what it is. And it's turned entire generations of people into bigots.
Yes.
Things like that. Like, that's the exact sort of behavior we're trying to weed out.
Right. Which kind of makes me wonder, and it might be switch to a different topic, but if we're aware of all the problems and bigotries that are past...
Damn it.
Oh, it crashed? When did it crash?
I have no idea. Looks relatively recently.
Oh, great. Ration's good, but I don't know. I mean.